Meg trundled slowly up the inside lane of the motorway, hoping she looked braver than she felt. The journey from South Yorkshire all the way to the west coast of the Scottish Highlands was a long one for someone who hadn't driven further than to the local supermarket in years. Her husband, Michael, had always insisted on driving, telling her she didn't have the confidence and that he'd be happier behind the wheel. She'd had a few cautious, experimental trips since selling her little car and buying the camper van, but nothing to prepare her for a drive of over 400 miles. Her little corgi, Eliza, sat beside her on the passenger seat, strapped into her little doggy harness and looking out of the window with her habitual, cheerful curiosity. It was funny, Meg thought, that there was something about a camper van that just seemed to intrigue people. Before signing on the dotted line at the showroom and handing over a hefty sum in exchange for a set of keys for the 6-month-old van, she'd never so much as looked inside one. Selling up everything she owned and buying a house on wheels had seemed the biggest gesture she could make towards changing her life completely. So, she'd parted with the cash, swallowed any vague sense of unease she might have felt, and decided to go for it. After a couple of hours, they stopped at a service station to stretch their legs. There were long parking bays, which were specifically laid out for drivers like her. She pulled in alongside a beaten-up van with stickers all over the back doors, mismatched streaks of paint where the rust had been covered over, and a side door with several dents in it. She was just taking it in when the side door slid open, and a tall boy in his early 20s appeared, a tin mug of coffee in one hand and a half-eaten sandwich in the other. "All right?" He tipped his head in greeting as she put the window down to lean out and double-check she'd parked within the lines. "You've got loads of room there," he said, smiling cheerfully. "Nice van." She looked across into his little house on wheels. Colourful Nepalese flags hung on the wall, and a still steaming kettle stood on top of a blue gas stove. Striped rugs lay on the floor, and the whole interior looked cool and hippie-ish. "I think mine is a bit more traditional than yours. Luckily, my friend's promised to make me some nice crochet blankets to brighten it up a bit. I'm going to house-sit for her," Meg added. "Cool," said the boy, sipping his coffee. "Doesn't matter what it looks like, though. It's the ethos that's important. Freedom is everything." He patted the battered side of his van affectionately. "Freedom is everything," echoed Meg. "I like that." He looked like the sort of person who was designed for van life. She felt like a bit of a fraud in comparison. Eliza gave a gruff bark of excitement and pulled against the travel harness, making it almost impossible to unfasten the 2 safety clips that held her secure on the front passenger seat, where she'd been sitting on a blue and white fleece blanket, folded neatly to protect the brand new upholstery. The blanket already had a light dusting of the ever-present golden hairs, which her little corgi left as a calling card wherever she went.